Good morning, expats. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, if this is your first time, then welcome to the channel. I am Jay, the American expat, or that idiot, if you prefer. I am obviously out here in the fields of rural Anhui province. I just made the trip back from Jiangsu province to see my family. Yes, I do have some business that I'm having to attend to and winding things down out here in China before returning back to America. I had previously made a video that I wanted to upload regarding the situation in Hong Kong and this new national security law. I started to upload it and ran into trouble, and then I heard about what was in the law, and I just ended up deleting the video because, well, I really don't want to get myself into trouble on purpose, so I'm making this one instead that I'm going to tone down a little bit just so that you know ahead of time because of some of the things in the law. So we'll talk about those, how it affects me, how it affects you, how it affects everybody coming up. So stick around. Oh, thanks for sticking with us. So, as I mentioned, the Hong Kong national security law. It's pretty scary stuff, to be honest. The law, apparently its scope is not limited to people in Hong Kong or even people in China. It covers everyone, everywhere, of any nationality. If you get online or do anything that they consider in support of separatists or that is subversive or contrary to the Communist Party here in China, then you've broken the national security law and you're subject to arrest. Which means if you travel to China or you travel to Hong Kong and you've been posting things, let's say on Twitter, in support of the protesters or saying things about Hong Kong independence or anything like that, you could be subject to arrest. They can arrest you, they can take you into mainland China and put you on trial under the national security law. Even though in your country it's perfectly legal for you to speak however you want. Now they've passed laws that regulate you. And, I mean, it gets even worse. If you happen to be traveling through a country that is friendly toward China, they could also detain you and they could extradite you to China under this law to face trial. Yeah, that has me even wondering. I mean, there's a lot of people in Hong Kong and China probably going back through their social media posts and deleting things. I've considered myself going back through because I have no idea. I mean, I've said a lot of things online. Who knows what it could be interpreted as anti-communist party or whatever, or taken out of context. Of course, I'm a small fry. I don't think anybody really cares. Nobody really even listens to what I'm saying, so it doesn't matter so much. Of course, I'm reminded of the time that the police showed up and demanded that I delete my tweets and stuff. That was regarding the pandemic and something that wasn't really against the Communist Party, which I'm sure everybody knows how I feel about that. I'm an American, I'm not a communist. Although there are apparently a lot of communists in America fighting in the streets at the moment, but I digress. Anyway, back to the main topic. This whole thing affects you. And I keep seeing these posts from people on, I guess on social media, people in Hong Kong. They're not really people in Hong Kong. I'm pretty sure that these are just Chinese netizens, but they're going on and on, especially the Global Times, about how, the United States isn't going to be able to take down Hong Kong and all this stuff. And I know they're just trying to spread propaganda. It's like, well, the United States really isn't trying to take down Hong Kong. Hong Kong, for those of you who never got to experience it, is very much like the United States. It's a place where there was a lot of freedom economically as well as social freedom. You can you could speak your mind. It's really terrible to see what has happened to it, because the only way I can describe it is going to Hong Kong after living in mainland China. Whenever I go to visit, it's like coming out of a dark cave into the light. Suddenly, you're in the free world, you know? You're in China, but you're in the free world. You can get on the normal internet. You can post whatever you want online, and you don't have to worry that, you know, you're going to get in trouble. Or it's just terrible to see that that's gone now. But the United States does not want to hurt Hong Kong. Anyone who knows about Hong Kong knows that, you know, it's very much very dear to anyone that has been there anyway. It's like the United States in China. So it's terrible that this has happened. And I think they're just in denial, or maybe they're looking for an excuse when things really do go bad. They'll blame the United States and say it's because the United States did this or that, and that's why Hong Kong now sucks. Of course, the truth of the matter is that this law is terrifying. So let's say you're considering doing business in China, and you hear about all these weird rules that you can be arrested, you know, for your posts online if you said anything. You might think twice, you know, about going to get started over there. I don't know if I'm going to make that business trip to Hong Kong because, well, I could get arrested. There's a lot more in the law that we don't know about, but those are the things that I have been thinking about. I don't know that I'm ever going to go to Hong Kong again as long as this stands, because you just never know, you know? It's like, how would you describe it? It's like walking on thin ice. You might fall through. You don't know. You don't know what's in your past that they might pull up, and then you could get arrested. It's just too vague and too iffy. It's like, well, I don't know what they're thinking. This is like something that they just passed out of panic or something. And it was unanimous. And now the United States is talking about passing sanctions on Chinese officials who had played a part in this national security law. Well, I don't know who's going to be left out, because, like I said, it passed unanimously. So does that mean Xi Jinping himself is going to be sanctioned? I don't know. But they're talking about, well, I guess they've already decided to do it. They're going to sanction them. They're also going to sanction Chinese banks. Any Chinese banks that do business with these officials are going to get sanctioned, which is probably all the Chinese banks. So what does that mean, you know? If the Chinese banks are going to be sanctioned, it's all sounding pretty bad to me. The Chinese economy, for anyone who's been watching this probably already know, it's already showing some serious signs of problems. They don't report a lot of things. They try to make it sound like it's doing really well. So it's hard to tell just exactly how bad it is, but believe me, there are signs that things are a lot worse than what they're saying. And I mean, why wouldn't it be worse? They first had the trade war. Now they've got the virus that shut everything down. Then the virus shut everything down everywhere else. And now the rest of the world is angry, you know, and people are trying to talk about boycotting Chinese products and the end of globalization, and now sanctions. And it's just, and then of course they've killed Hong Kong. Let's face it, they've killed Hong Kong with this bill. It's like they're going to shoot themselves in the face just to save face. Yeah, they're going to destroy their face in order to save face. But it's just crazy stuff. I don't know. But all I can say is I'm never going to go to Hong Kong. Never. Not under these circumstances. Too dangerous. Way too dangerous. I had originally planned on traveling through Hong Kong when we went out, but now I don't know. See, in mainland China, at least the border officials or whoever, they're not like zealots. They're just doing their job. But in Hong Kong, boy, they really seem to be going nuts over this thing. So yeah, I'll probably be avoiding that. Besides, the last time I tried to travel through Hong Kong, we got stuck at the airport anyway. That was a bad experience, so probably not going to happen. I feel terrible. Like I said, that's one of my favorite places on this earth, and now to see it reduced to this, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to just keep going down and down. And they can fool themselves all they want by saying that, you know, Hong Kong's going to do great and this national security law is good, I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking like, yeah, you'd be crazy to go do business in a place like that because you never know what's going to happen. It's really funny. I started this whole channel at the beginning when I was just posting, or I thought I was going to just post things to give people tips that were coming here to live or work. At the time, you might even say I was more of an apologist for the place, this country. It's amazing how things can change. Because for me, it had really been a good experience. I'd never been given any trouble. I'd always, I ran into problems, but it wasn't from the government. It'd been a really good experience. I'd really built myself up. And then this virus came, and it's just changed everything. People's attitudes changed, again, toward foreigners. It's just hard to believe where we're standing right now, that I'm preparing to leave the country and go back to the United States. And I don't know, I guess it's a bit of a wake-up call for me when all this happened, especially now with this Hong Kong thing. This place has really changed, and I'm pretty sure that I know why. I kind of have an idea of what has happened. For anybody that's been to China years and years ago, and you think, well, it's a friendly place, and all of that. Yeah, it really was. Back when I first came to China, this was a very friendly place. People didn't hate foreigners. The country was doing well. Everybody just had this sense of hope, and things were getting better, and we were improving things together. The foreigners weren't bad. They were coming here to make things better, and things were getting better. And everybody just, like I said, they just had this sense of hope. And, well, that's gone. That's all changed. Now it's, those foreigners are trying to keep us down. And I don't know. I don't think that, I really don't think that most Americans are just out to keep China down. I don't think that the rivalry about, if China's going to rise and have a bigger economy than the United States, I really don't think that played as much of a role as China trying to wreck the American system. I think that's where it really comes in, is when you start to see how China has infiltrated so many countries and caused so much trouble. That's where all the hatred comes from in the West. Like, wow, we come in and we invest in their country and do all these things, and then what do? They try to rip us off and destroy our economy, or take over and try to influence our government institutions and our elections. That certainly has turned people against China. Now, I do want to say it's not the Chinese people, and they don't understand why the West feels the way that they do. They only hear the propaganda that they get from their government, saying how, the Americans attacked some Chinese person. Don't attack Chinese people. They really have no idea. They think that the West is just out to get them. And in reality, we're not. Everybody just wants to live a better life. I know I don't reach many people, but really, Chinese people are just regular people like everybody else. They want to take care of their families. They want life to be better for their children. And they just think, because of the propaganda that they hear, that you want to take that away from them, or you want to keep them down. And we know that's not true. But they don't. And that's where a lot of these people that get online too, and you get these Chinese netizens, they really think that. So they're getting on there and they see all this stuff about China, and they think you're attacking them and want to keep them down. So they go on the attack against you, and it's all just because they don't know. They've never been to America. They've never been to Australia or anywhere else. They have no idea what they're talking about. And if they did go, a lot of them, they were students, and the Chinese government's programs over there kept them isolated, so they didn't get to experience the freedoms and the good things that we have in our countries. Very unfortunate. And I guess with the 4th of July just having passed, I just want to say one thing regarding my thoughts and feelings on this whole situation with Hong Kong. I'll read something from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't know. When I think of Hong Kong, I see David and Goliath, except Goliath is about 1,000 feet tall or something. It just looks almost like an unwinnable fight. I don't know. Oh, here come the propaganda machine. Let's hope it's not anything to do with the ongoing pandemic, which is another topic that I can talk about in another video. They claim to have it under control. I don't know if in the capital they're just trying to make a big show of it because it's the capital, or if things are worse than what they're letting on, but let's hope not. We've already been through enough with this whole virus thing. It's time for it to go away. So I'll end with that. If you enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you have subscribed so you don't miss anything. I try to upload regularly. You know, the internet here is sometimes iffy. The VPN usually works, but sometimes the internet doesn't. Sometimes the internet works and the VPN doesn't, but I try my best. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next one.